others. Underwriting of the shares and debentures. Please share your thoughts. With or without condition. Dinesh Kumar. Guaranteeing to buy shares of company that there is a minimum subscription of shares. Good, from Darshini. So, underwriting of shares basically related to one of the aspects in issue of shares actually. What is the purpose of issue of shares? We know. What is the purpose of shares? We know that purpose of issuing shares is we need money to run the company. So we are asking money from the shareholders. We are asking money from the owners. So that is the main purpose of issue of shares. So whenever I am going for an issue of shares, I might be a very new company. I will be very new company. My company do not have any goodwill. I am very new guy into the business. I need money. So what will happen in this case? When I am issuing shares, sometimes shareholder may not be interested to buy directly. You got it? Because they don't know about me. They don't know about my business. They are not very trust on me. Like that, there will be many reasons for that. The point is, for example, I want 1 crore money to run my business. I am approaching all the shareholders. Sometimes they will purchase the shares, sometimes they will not purchase the shares. Because due to various reasons, normally they will not get more awareness about my company. And they don't have trust on investing on my company. So what will happen? In this case, I need money to run the business. But at the same time, I have to approach the shareholders directly. It may or may not be possible to get the money from the shareholders due to various reasons. So to avoid this scenario of undersubscription, undersubscription means what? 1 crore is the issue of share value. Total shares value is 1 crore. Total share value is 1 crore. But only 50% is subscribed. Only 50% is subscribed. Meaning only 50 lakhs subscribed by the shareholders. This is undersubscription. So to avoid the undersubscription majorly, we are putting some agreement. We are making some agreement with underwriters. What agreement? What type of agreement? Agreement in the sense, see, I need money of 1 crore. I need money of 1 crore rupees. 1 crore is my share value expectation. So I am putting agreement with underwriters, UW underwriters. Okay, what agreement? See, this is I am putting an agreement with underwriter that responsibility of subscription. Responsibility of subscription means I will tell to underwriter, see, I need 1 crore. This is your job to get that 1 crore rupees. For example, I am put an agreement with the 4 underwriters, A, B, C, D. I am telling to A, see, 25% is your responsibility. B, I am telling 25% is your responsibility. C, I am telling 25% is your responsibility. D, I am telling 25% is your responsibility. Meaning is 1 crore is my total value of share capital. That is what I am going to issue. Responsibility is 25 lakhs, A's responsibility. B's responsibility 25 lakhs. C's responsibility 25 lakhs. D responsibility 25 lakhs. What is this responsibility? Responsibility means that is the job of underwriters, to marketing with or to approach the shareholders and sell this application. You got it or not? Underwriter, what they will do? Okay, 25 lakhs is my responsibility. A, what will do? He will collect application from the shareholders. That means he is selling the shareholders on behalf of the company to the shareholders. So that his target is 25 lakhs minimum, 25%. That is the job of major job of underwriter. Underwriter job is nothing but assisting the company for collecting money from the shareholders during the shares issue. During the allotment, you can say IPO, initial public offer, or FPO, follow-on public offer. First time if I am asking money from the public means it is IPO, initial public offer. Follow-on public offer means subsequently again I am raising again one more time from the shareholders. Okay. So this is the basic meaning of underwriting. I'll explain types of underwriting, all those things. But this is the concept. Underwriter job is nothing but helping the company for subscription of shares. They will do marketing, they will do lot of things, and they have some other job also. That I will explain later. But till this, you understood the meaning of underwriting. You understood the meaning of underwriting. Put yes if you understood. Yes from Darshini. Sanju, yes. Revati, Swati, yes. Okay. We will proceed further. We will discuss the material, input material. You can expect 1 mark. That is why I am discussing the material actually. You can expect, of course, we have MCQ pattern only, but now you can expect more 1 marks actually from this theory. So just I am reading the points which is there in the material. First para I am just going to read, which is only 2 lines. Okay. Underwriting is an agreement with or without condition to subscribe to the securities of a body corporate when existing shareholder of the company or public do not subscribe the securities offered to them. So what this point till now we have not discussed this point till now actually. That is the next point I am going to discuss. That I will discuss. What they are trying to say is, as I said, responsibility of 25%. Responsibility of 25% is A. B's responsibility is 25%. C's responsibility 25%. D's responsibility 25%. But the primary job is like primary job is like a agent job. Primary job is like agent job. Agent job means what? Underwriter only will sell the application to shareholders. And they will collect money from the shareholder and they will pay to the company, or the shareholder will pay to the company directly. But agency job only underwriter will do. That is the primary job. But you can ask me a question, sir. In case underwriter is trying to sell the shares, underwriter is trying to sell the application, but nobody is purchasing. Underwriting is trying to sell the application on behalf of the company to the shareholders, but no shareholder is ready to purchase, sir. In such case, what will happen? You got it or not? What I am saying? Say for example, A, B, C, D, 25, 25, 25, 25. A is able to sell only 20 lakh shares, 20 lakhs worth of application form. B is able to sell only 15 lakhs worth of application form. C is able to sell only 20 lakhs worth of application form. D is only able to sell 25 lakhs worth of application form. So in this case, what happened? A's responsibility is 25 lakhs, but he is able to sell only 20. So balance 5 lakhs he is not able to sell. B's responsibility is 25 lakhs, but he is able to sell only 15 lakhs. So balance 10 lakhs he is not able to sell. C's responsibility is 25 lakhs, but he is able to sell only 10 lakhs. Balance 5 lakhs he is not able to sell. Application form. His responsibility is fulfilled. In this case, what happened? 5 lakh is not able to sell, 10 lakh is not able to sell, 5 lakh is not able to sell. In this case, underwriter himself or herself, underwriter itself should purchase the above shares. Underwriter itself should purchase the above shares. This is that additional point. You got it or not? This is not only responsibility of selling like an agent. Additional responsibility is there for underwriting. Underwriting means if your share is not subscribed by the public, in such a case, balance shares, whatever it is, that I will purchase. That is called underwriting agreement. Not only agency work, but also if there is anything is left out, that I will purchase. This is one type of underwriting. Okay, this is called conditional underwriting. This is called conditional underwriting. So now I will read that point, first two lines. Underwriting agreement is an agreement with or without condition to subscribe the securities of a body corporate when existing shareholders of the corporate or the public do not subscribe to the securities offered to them. When existing shareholder is not purchasing or new shareholder is not interested in purchasing the application form, then it is the responsibility of underwriter to purchase the shares for which they held responsible. Okay? This is the meaning. I am reading the second para now. I am reading the second para. What is the second para? When a company goes in for an initial public offer, it may face certain uncertainty about whether its offer of shares or securities will be subscribed in full or not. If the public issue does not get fully subscribed, the project for which funds are being raised cannot be implemented. As per law, this also you remember, as per law, it is required that if the company is not able to collect 90% of the offer amount, then it needs to compulsorily return the money to those who have subscribed to the shares. So whatever I discussed, again the same thing they are saying. Some underwriter job is just trying to selling to the application form to the shareholders. But in case if they are not the shareholders not subscribe the application form, then underwriter needs to purchase the shares itself. So as per law also what they are saying, why this underwriting, why the purpose of underwriting, what they are saying is, whenever you are issuing shares to the public, say for example 1 crore is my issue. 1 crore is my issue. At least 90% should be subscribed. Then only it is successful. Then only it is a successful IPO or SPO. Otherwise, I have to return this money. I have to return this 90% money. Then IPO is failure. That is what they are saying. Okay. Third para. I am reading the third para. To avoid the risk of undersubscription. To avoid the risk of undersubscription, companies may seek the help of specialized group of risk redeemer called underwriters. The function of the underwriters is to arrange subscription of floated shares. So this is what? To avoid the risk of undersubscription, I am putting an agreement with the underwriters. That is the job of underwriters. Okay? So what is the next thing? Come to the next page. Come to the next page. What is there in next page? Look at the points. Come to the page number, second page you leave it, come to the third page. Come to the third page. Second page you leave it, come to the third page. In third page what is given? Sub-underwriters. Sub-underwriter. Sub-underwriter is nothing but like subcontractor. Sub-underwriters. Sub-underwriters. It's like a subcontractor. What is the job of sub-underwriter? As I said, there is 4 underwriters, A, B, C, D, right? What this A, B, C, D will do now? They have taken responsibility of 25%. 25. What this ABC will do now? A will again enter some contract with another underwriter called X. B will again enter a contract with a contractor called Y. C will again enter a contract called Z. D will again enter with contract with O. What is the thing now? They will have a separate agreement between A and X, B and Y, C and Z, D and O. What is the agreement? What A will tell to X? See, 25% is my responsibility. Out of this 25%, you have to take something. Out of this 25%, some amount of percentage you should take it as a responsibility. Say, for example, 10% you will allot to X. That is an understanding between A and X only. For company, A is responsible. For company, B is responsible. For company, C is responsible. For company, D is responsible. But this X, Y, Z to O and all responsible to A, B, C, D. You got it? That is called sub-underwriting. A will put an underwriting agreement with the company, and A will also put an sub-underwriting with X. Okay? For a company, they will not bother about that. Company only will ask A. Okay? Why that sub-underwriting is required, sir? Means to raise the money only, because sometimes A do not have sufficient money, so that they will put a sub-underwriting with the X. X will pay something to A. A will again pay to the company, like that. Okay? That is sub-underwriters. That is what mentioned here. For one more purpose, I am just going through certain points here. So I am reading the heading. In order to spread the risk of under subscription. In order to spread means I am reducing the risk by bringing X, by bringing Y, by bringing Z, by bringing O. I am reducing the risk of under subscription because I do not have money sufficiently. So I am putting in contract with another sub underwriter. That is called sub underwriters. So if I put an additional contract, then the risk is reduced. Under subscription risk is reduced. The principal underwriters may enter into subsidiary agreement with the sub-underwriter. Such agreements are made between underwriters alone, with the company not being a party thereto. As per agreement, the company pays commission at a prescribed rate of principal underwriters, who in turn disburse commission to the sub-underwriter. Sometimes as an additional commission is paid to principal rate to encourage sub-underwriting. This is known as overriding commission. So what they are saying, no, commission will be paid normally. Company will pay commission. Company will pay commission to A, B, C, D. Why commission? They are doing also agency job. The agency job is the primary job. Selling application form to shareholders, subscribers. For that they will get some commission. And this company, what they will do now? They will pay some extra commission. When they will pay extra commission? When the A is entering contract with another contractor, another underwriter, X, Y, Z, O. Company will encourage sub-underwriters. Why? Because ultimately company needs money. Whether you pay, you are giving or you are asking from someone else and you are giving to me, that is not problem. I am ready to pay extra commission also. When this will be paid? When there is a sub-underwriter, company is ready to pay commission, that commission is called overriding commission. 1 mark purpose you remember. Okay, that is what mentioned here. Come to the next topic, underwriting commission. That is the main thing. Underwriting commission. Underwriting commission is paid by company to underwriters. Company to underwriters. Why it is paid? For many reasons. Agency work they are doing advertising, they are doing approaching the subscribers. For that reason, commission is paid. This commission. So I'm just reading the first para. What is the first para under the underwriting commission? It may be paid in cash. It may be paid in cash or in fully paid up shares or debentures or a combination of all these. It is paid on the issue of price of the shares or debentures so underwritten. It is paid on the issue price of the shares. It is paid on what price? Commission is calculated on what price? Issue price. Issue price means it includes premium also, not face value. Issue price means includes premium also, like market price. So for making commission, underwriting commission payment, what are the conditions should be followed? I am just reading the first point under the underwriting commission. The payment of the commission is authorized by the articles. Authorized by articles, articles of association. In companies articles of association, there will be one clause. What clause? When there is an issue of shares, if you are going for an underwriting commission should be allowed. That should be included in the articles of association. That should be included in the articles of association. Okay? Then what is the next thing? Second point is important. Commission paid or agreed to be paid does not exceed in case of shares 5% of the price at which shares are issued or the amount of rate authorized by the articles whichever is less. And in case of debentures 2.5% of the price at which debentures are issued or the amount of the rate articles authorized by articles whichever is less. What they are saying, commission percentage. Commission percentage how much, sir? As per the provisions of the Companies Act, what they are saying is maximum 5% in case of shares. Maximum 2.5% in case of debentures. Commission maximum allowed under the Companies Act. Okay. Come to the next page. Come to the next page. Under that, the point is, first point is underwriting agreement. This is one more question, already asked many times in the examination. How many types of underwriting? That is the question. How many types of underwriting? That is the question. So as per the insured material, you have two types of underwriting. Two types of underwriting. What are the types? What are the types? Conditional underwriting, firm underwriting. Two type of underwriting as per the insured material. What are they? One is conditional underwriting and another one is firm underwriting. What is this conditional underwriting? What is this firm underwriting? I am just going through conditional underwriting. Under this type of agreement, the underwriter agrees to take up agreed proportion of shares not taken up by the public. If the shares are fully subscribed by the public, then the underwriter does not take any shares. So what they are saying, in conditional underwriting, as I said, A, B, C, D. B, C, D. I told you, no, 25, 25, 25, 25. Earlier I told you, no, public taken for A 20, public taken for B 15, public taken for C 20, public taken for D 25. So in this case, how much not taken by public? 5 is not taken by public, 10 is not taken by public, 5 is not taken by public, here nil. So in this case, what they are saying is, if public is not taken, then only I will purchase the shares. In this case, A should purchase 5, B should purchase 10, C should purchase 5, D need not to purchase anything because public fully taken 25. That is conditional underwriting. If public is not purchased, then only I will purchase your shares. That is my condition. That is called conditional underwriting. If public is not purchasing the shares, then only I will purchase your shares. That is condition put by the underwriter. That is called conditional underwriting. Then what about firm underwriting shares? Firm underwriting, what will happen? No. Same scenario. A, B, C, D. Same 25, 25, 25, 25. Firm underwriting, what will happen? No. Whether public is purchasing or public is not purchasing, whether public is oversubscribed the shares or public is undersubscribed the shares, whatever the scenario, I will definitely purchase some shares from your company. For example, firm underwriting means guarantee given by underwriter to the company. What guarantee? I will purchase 5 lakh shares definitely. I forget about public. Public whether purchasing or not, that I don't bother. Even public is purchasing excess, you should allot shares to me only, not to the public. That is firm underwriting. So balance 20 lakhs only available to the public. 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 Firm underwriting compulsorily. Definitely underwriters will purchase this shares. This much shares. Minimum guarantee 5 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh. Balance 20 lakhs only available to the public. Say for example, and out of this balance 20 lakhs, 15 lakhs purchased by the public. Here 20 lakhs purchased by the public. Here application oversubscribed 25 lakhs. Here also oversubscribed 25 lakhs. What will happen in this case? Public is purchasing 15 lakhs in case of A. Public is purchasing 20 lakhs in case of B. C 25 lakhs. D 25 lakhs. What will happen in this case? Undersubscribed is how much? 5 lakhs. Nothing. Here is nothing because 20 lakhs is the public thing available. 20 lakhs is purchased. 20 lakhs is the public portion available. 25 lakhs purchased. Over subscription. 20 lakhs is the public. 20 lakhs is the public share available. Over subscribed. 5 lakhs. Extra 5 lakhs is over subscribed. Here only under subscribed. This 5 lakhs should be purchased by the underwriter A. This 5 lakhs should be purchased by the underwriter A. Okay? That we will discuss. That we will discuss later. What I am trying to say is, firm underwriting means definitely some amount of purchase should be purchased by. Some amount of shares should be purchased by the underwriters. That is firm underwriting. But in case of conditional underwriting, only if there is an undersubscription, then only it is purchased by the shareholders. Then only it is purchased by the underwriters. You got it or not? Conditional underwriting, if there is an undersubscription, then only purchased by the underwriter. But in case of firm underwriting, Whether under subscription or over subscription, definitely some amount of shares underwriter should purchase.
Hello.
That is the meaning. Understood? From underwriting under condition underwriting understood. Just tell me, put your answer.
இருக்கீங்க அப்புறம்
Just put your views.
ஓகே ஓகே எப்படி போகுதுல்லாம்
Please let me know. Understood? Any doubts?
அவரு உங்க
Still no any doubts? Shall we proceed further? Next step is we have to move to the problem. Yes sir, from Swati. What about others? What about others? Any doubts you can ask me here. No doubt.
சரி சரி.
From Darshini, what about others? What about others? Shall I proceed further?
நீங்க என்ன அப்புறம் உங்களுக்கு என்ன எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்கலாம்?
So I'll proceed further.
நல்லா இந்த வாட்டி பண்ணுங்க.
I'll proceed further then. What is the next thing available in the material? What is the next thing? Yes, one more concept is there. Marked application, unmarked application.
எங்க ஆபீஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா?
One more concept is there. Marked application. And unmarked application.
Super.
What is this marked application, unmarked application? Marked application means what? Marked application means what? Just go through the theory. Marked application and unmarked application, please go through the theory. Just go through the theory. Marked application and
எது எக்ஸம்ஷன் சொல்றீங்க?
Unmarked.
அப்ப நீங்க என்ன அப்ளை பண்ணீங்க ஜூனுக்கு? எக்ஸம்ஷன் க்ளைம் பண்ணீங்களா அந்த இதுல? அப்படி இல்லையே, அது இதுல நம்ம மென்ஷன் பண்ணுமே அப்ளிகேஷன் ஃபார்ம்ல. நான் எனக்கு ஞாபகம் என்ன எப்படி இருந்ததுன்னா, அந்த எக்ஸாம் அப்ளிகேஷன் ஃபார்ம்ல ஏதோ ஒன்று இருக்கும். அது நம்ம செலக்ட் பண்ணணுன்ற மாதிரி ஏதோ இருக்கும் ஆக்சுவலி. ம் 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 சரி சரி சரி.
So just go through the
ஆன்லைன் பேஸ்ட்னா கூட இப்போ நீங்க எதுவும் அதுல மென்ஷன் ஆகல இல்லையா? நீங்க இது பண்ணுங்க. அப்ப அப்படியே கண்டினியூ.
Marked application and unmarked application. What is this marked application? So what will happen? As I said, 4 underwriters A, B, C, D. What is their job? Primary job. Primary job is what? Selling the application form. That is their primary job. While they are selling, that is their job. They will sell to the subscribers. So, for example, A is selling. B will also sell application. C will also sell application. D will also sell application to the subscribers. Correct? So, for example, A is selling application form. A is selling application form to the public. While selling, A is selling now, that time he will mark in application as A. While B is selling the application, the B will mark in application as B. While C is selling the application, C will mark application as C. While D is selling now, that time D will mark in application as D. Marked application. That is called marked application. Marked application means I can identify who sold this application to subscribers. Whether A sold this application to subscriber, or B sold this application to subscriber, or C sold this application to subscriber, or D sold this application to subscriber. That I can understand through marking the application, marking the name of particular underwriter. Okay? That is marked application. Unmarked application. Unmarked application means what?
எல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்காங்க.
Unmarked means application is not sold through ABCD. It is directly purchased by the shareholder. Sorry, subscriber. Subscriber is directly purchasing the application.
Okay.
They are not. It is not sold through. It is not sold through the underwriters. Rather, they themselves buying through online or directly, downloading from the website, company website. That is unmarked application, not marked with the particular underwriter. Okay? This is the meaning of marked and unmarked application. I'll just read the marked application, unmarked application. Marked application are those applications which bear the stamp of an underwriter. Which bears the stamp of the underwriter. For example, A stamp, B stamp, C stamp, D stamp, like that. If the issue is not fully subscribed, marked application shall be applied in reduction of underwriter liability. Okay. The unmarked application are those applications which bear no stamp of an underwriter. No stamp is marked in the application. These applications are received by the stamp company directly from the public. Public directly purchasing from the company. Public directly purchasing from the company itself. That is unmarked application. Okay? I'll go to the next page. Journal entries we will discuss later. I'll go to the next page now. In next page, what is there?
விளையாடுப்போ வண்டி காப்பி விளையாடுப்போ நீ விளையாடுப்போ உடுமா ஏய் உடு.
Just go to the next page. Again they are discussing about underwriting. Fully underwritten, partially underwritten. Without firm underwriting, with firm underwriting. Without firm underwriting, with firm underwriting. What is fully underwritten, partially underwritten? What is fully underwritten? Fully underwritten, partially underwritten. Say for example, 1 crore is my share. Issue value is 1 crore. Issue value is 1 crore. So I am engaging A, B, C, D. 25 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 25 lakhs equal to 1 crore. This is called fully underwritten. This is called fully underwritten. Again, partial underwritten. I am going for 1 crore rupees. This thing, total issue value is 1 crore. Again, I am appointing A, B, C, D. But I am engaging contract only for what you can say 10 lakh, 10 lakh, 10 lakh, 10 lakh. Total is 40 lakhs only. So out of 1 crore, 60 lakhs no underwriting. Balance 40 lakhs only underwriting. That is partially underwritten. Okay. This may be with firm underwriting or without firm underwriting. Firm underwriting we already discussed. What is firm underwriting? Okay. So with this understanding, we can work out the problems. So before getting into the problem directly, I will just explain the format. Gross, say for example, A, B, C, D, 4 underwriter is there. Okay. In this gross liability, that is the starting point. Gross liability means agreement entered between underwriter and the company. 25% is the gross liability. 25% is the gross liability. 25% is the gross liability. Meaning maximum how much I can purchase. Gross total maximum how much I can purchase in your company. 25%. Whatever the figure, X. Okay. Minus firm underwriting. Always you try like this. Minus firm underwriting means minimum shares agreed. Minimum shares, compulsorily purchasable shares. Firm underwriting. Okay? Then, marked application. Marked application means what? How much sold by A, how much sold by B, how much sold by C, how much sold by D. That is available in the application form. So I will deduct. Negative means I am deducting. Then unmarked application. Again I am deducting that. Then what else? Will give you net liability. Plus, already we deducted this firm underwriting. But we have to definitely pay. Apart from the other liability, definitely we have to purchase some shares. That I will add here again. Then I will get my total liability. This plus this. What liability? Liability means number of shares. That is the liability. How much shares I committed to purchase. Okay? This is the format. All of you please take your notebook. All of you please take your notebook and complete this format within 2 minutes. Please complete this format. I will give you 2 minutes time. Take your notebook, complete this format. And message me completed. First GL means gross liability. Kavita completed. What about others? GL means gross liability. FE means face value. FU means firm underwriting. MA is marked application. UMA unmarked application. Then NL net liability. Then again firm underwriting adding. Then total liability. Completed. How many of you completed? Completed. Malata. Swati, what about others? Please take only 1 minute, just complete this format. This is what required. Even in MCQ also, you have to work out this format and you have to arrive the answer. Because it is not purely 1 mark. It may be some problems you have to work out yourself and you have to arrive the answer there. So, you please take this format. Completed. What about others? Shall I move it further? What about others? Yes. From Abhinaya. What about others? Darshini completed. Okay, we will move further. We'll move forward. So, just take your material and look at the first problem. Just take your material and look at the first problem. Look at the first problem. There is a company called N Limited. N Limited issued 80,000 equity shares, which were underwritten as follows. N Limited issued 80,000 equity shares, which were underwritten as follows. So A is underwriting 48,000 equity shares, B is underwriting 20,000 equity shares, C is underwriting 12,000 equity shares. Okay? 80,000 is the total shares, total number of issue of shares, out of which A is allotted 48, B is allotted 20, C is allotted 12. This is total gross liability. This is called gross liability. Sorry, little bit got an urgent call. Okay. So, in this case, 80,000 rupees, sorry, 80,000 shares is the total liability. This 80,000 is shared between A, B, C. This 80,000 is shared between A, B, and C. So 48,000, 20,000, 12,000 shares. Okay? 48,000, 20,000, 12,000 shares. This is what gross liability. This is what gross liability. And in the same question, they mentioned firm underwriting also. Firm underwriting means what? Minimum commitment. Whether the external person is purchasing or not, that is not at all a problem actually. That is not at all a matter. So just we have to purchase, the underwriter should purchase the 6,400 8,000 and 2,400 shares. Compulsorily they have to purchase. A has to purchase 6,400, B has to purchase 8,000, C has to purchase 2,400. That is called firm underwriting. And what they mentioned further, the total application excluding firm underwriting, but including marked application were for 40,000 equity shares. The total application excluding firm underwriting but including marked application were for 40,000 equity shares. The marked application whereas under. That is what they said. So what they are saying is, from public they got 40,000 application. From public they got 40,000 application. Out of this 40,000 application, two types of application is received. One is marked application and another one is unmarked application. One is marked application and another one is unmarked applications. Okay? So marked application, unmarked application. What is this marked application? Marked application I already explained. That is sold through underwriters. That breakup is also given, marked application breakup. What is the total? 8,000, 10,000, 8,000, 10,000, 4,000. What is the total? Total is 22K. Total is almost 22K. Total is 40,000. Total application is 40,000. 40,000 minus 22K, that is marked application, equal to balance 18K is unmarked application. Total application minus marked application equal to unmarked application. Okay? Total application minus marked application equal to unmarked applications. Please, you can ask your doubts. If you have doubts, you can ask. Total application minus marked application equal to unmarked applications. Okay? Understood? You understood how I arrived the marked application versus unmarked application? Understood? This understanding should be there. Any doubt in marked application, unmarked application? Understood the calculation? All of you? Marked application, unmarked application? Marked application, unmarked application? Okay. Understood. Okay. So, now only we have to go to the problem. We have to go to the problem. A, B, C. Gross liability is given in the question itself. 48,000, 20,000, 12,000. 48,000, 20,000, 12,000 minus firm underwriting. Firm underwriting is also given in the question. You please follow this format only, okay? 6,400, 8,000, 2,400. First step in the question. So 48,000 minus 6,400 is 41,600. Correct? Then 12,000. Then 9,600. Again I am deducting marked application directly related to particular underwriter. Directly related to particular underwriter. applications are marked under the particular underwriter. Say for example, 8,000 is for A is given in the question, 10,000 is for B is given in the question, 4,000 is for C is given in the question. So again I am deducting 600, 33,600, 2,000, 5,600. This is marked application. Then come to unmarked application. Now the question is, sir, an unmarked application means what you know? It is purchased directly by the subscribers. That also we have to deduct from the underwriter's portion. Why, sir? Why we have to deduct? Because ultimately we have to sell the shares. That is the objective. That is the objective. So after deducting firm underwriting, after deducting marked application, till there is a liability. Till there is a liability for this fellow, 33,600, 2,000, 5,000, all these people is having liability. So we have to apportion and proportion this 22,000. 22K only, no, we identified. 22K of unmarked application, how to allocate? 22K of this 22K is allotted based on the gross liability ratio. 22K is allotted based on the gross liability ratio of ABC. What is gross liability ratio? 48:20:12. That is 48,000, 20,000, 12. That is their maximum undertaking, correct? So again I am simplifying this. How can I simplify? I will divide by 4. Twelve is to 5:3. Okay? So 12:5:3 is the ratio. In this ratio, 12:5:3 ratio, I have to allocate this 22,000. 22,000 divided by 12 plus 5, 7. Sorry, 12 plus 5, 17. 17 plus 3, 20. 12 plus 5, 17. Plus 3, 20. 18K unmarked or 22K unmarked? Bhupati is messaging 18K. It is 18K or 22K? Darshini is asking some doubt that I will explain later, okay? For this problem, we will discuss this. 18K only. So, I will change to 18K. So, 18K, 18,000 divided by 20, correct? Into 12. 18,000 divided by 20 into 5. 18,000 divided by 20 into 3. How much is coming? Unmarked application. So for A it is coming 10,800. For B it is coming 4,500. For C it is coming 2,700. Okay. So what I should do? Unmarked application I have to deduct here 10,800. For B how much? 4,500. For C how much? 2,700. Again I am deducting 33,600 minus 10,800. 400. 22,400. 22,800. Correct? Here already we have 2,000 left out liability minus 4,500 means additional application available with B. Because unmarked application, we are allotting on the gross liability ratio, but this fellow is having additional application, meaning his liability is already absorbed by the existing applications and existing guarantee. 5,600 minus 2,700, how much? 5,600 minus 2,700, 2,900. 2,900 or 400 or what it is? 16. Yeah. 2,900. 5,600 minus 2,700, 2,900. Good. What is the next step? Now you can see, still this fellow needed 22,800. Need means what? His liability is 22,800 still. This fellow's liability is 2,900 still after taking all the things. But this fellow is having some excess application in his account. 2,500 negative. This excess application can be shared with A and C. B's excess application can be shared with A and C with their gross liability ratio. With their gross liability ratio. What is the gross liability ratio? For A it is 12. For C it is 3. So 12 is to 3. Ratio we can share it. This 2,500 can be shared with 12 is to 3. So 2,500 divided by 15 into 12. I hope so I am correct. 2,500 divided by 15 into 12 எவ்வளவு வருது? 2,500 divided by 15 into 12. Correct. Yeah. So 22,800 minus 2,000. What is this 2,000? This 2,000 is extra application of B that we are sharing with the A and C. Here 500. 22,800 minus 2,000. 2,000 equal to 20,800. Here it is 0. Why? Because 2,500 is allotted here, so here it is 0. 2,900, how much here? 500. So 2,400. Net liability, this is called net liability plus what? Plus firm underwriting, which is already, definitely I should purchase, all of us should purchase. All of us should purchase. How much should be purchased in case of A? 6,400. How much should be purchased in case of B? 8,000. How much should be purchased in case of C? 2,400. So total liability 20,800 plus 6,400, 27,200. Here it is 8,000 only. Here it is 4,800. Here it is 8,000. Okay? 27,200, 8,000, 4,800. That is called total liability. Understood? Any doubt in this problem? Any doubt in this problem? Up to total liability understood? Up to total liability understood? So, take your notebook, complete this problem, within 2 to 3 minutes complete with the same format. Please complete this. How to arrive the ratio 12:3? Now you understood or you want me to explain? From Bhupati. 12:3 ratio. Understood, okay. So we'll move to the next problem. Some illustration 56, that is next problem. Second illustration that I will discuss later. Finally, I will discuss that. So we will go to the third illustration. We'll go to the third illustration. Illustration 57. That way we will work out. That is Maruti Limited. That is Maruti Limited. Starting with Maruti Limited. That way we will work out. Okay. I hope all of you having the question with you. So Maruti Limited. What is this Maruti Limited question? Just go through the question. Maruti Limited came out with an issue of 45 lakh equity shares of 10 each at a premium of 2 per share. At a premium of 2 per share. The promoters took 20% of the issue and balance was offered to the public. The issue was equally underwritten by A, B and C. Each underwriter took firm underwriting of 1 lakh shares each. Subscription for 31 lakh equity shares were received with marked forms for the underwritten as given below. So, A is underwritten 7 lakh 25,000, B is underwritten 8 lakh 40,000, C is underwritten 13 lakh 10,000. Total is 28 lakh 75,000. Underwriting commission is 5%. The entire amount towards share subscription has to be paid along with the application. You are required to complete the underwriter liability. That is the first thing what we did in previous problem. Second thing is compute the amount payable or due to underwriters. That is the second thing. Third one is pass necessary journal entries in the books of Maruti Limited relating to underwriting. So this is the third thing. So what they are trying to say? Maruti Limited is coming out issue of 45 lakh equity shares. Equity shares. This is shared between this 45 lakhs consists two things. One is 20% promoter subscription. Balance 80% public. This 45 lakhs includes two things. One is 20% is promoter subscription, balance 80% is public for public. Meaning promoters means owners of that company, founder of that company. Normally 45 lakhs into 20% equal to 9 lakh shares is purchased by promoters. Okay? 45 lakh into 20% is equal to 9 lakh shares promoters. And balance 80% is 36 lakhs. This is for public. Forget about promoters. Promoters means they themselves purchasing the shares. So they will not go for underwriting agreement for that. They will not go for underwriting agreement for that. So balance 36 lakhs Balance 36 lakhs is purchased by public. For this only they will go to underwriter. For this only they will go to underwriter. How these 36 lakhs are agreed? How these 36 lakhs are contracted with the underwriter? How these 36 lakhs are contracted with the underwriter? Equally. You refer the question. Equally. How it is contributed? The issue was equally underwritten by A, B and C. Equally means 36 by 3. A, B, C. 33 divided by 3. That is 12 lakh, 12 lakh, 12 lakh. Okay? 12 lakh. This is my gross liability. Then what about market application? What about firm underwriting? Firm underwriting is also available in the question. How much is firm underwriting in the question? Each underwriter took firm underwriting of 1 lakh shares each. Each underwriter took firm underwriting of 1 lakh shares each. 1 lakh, 1 lakh shares, 1 lakh shares. Okay? 1 lakh shares, 1 lakh shares, 1 lakh shares. Uh, 1 lakh shares. 12 lakh, 12 lakh, 12 lakh. Okay? Then marked application is also given in the question. Marked application is also given in the question. 7.25 lakh, 8.4 lakh, 13.1 lakh. Then what about unmarked application? Total application received how much? Total application received 31 lakh. Out of which marked application how much? 28.75 lakhs is given in the question. 28.75 lakhs is given in the question. So 31 minus 28.75 equal to balance how much? 2.25 application is unmarked application. 31 lakhs I received from the public, out of it 28.75 is marked application, balance 2.25 is my unmarked application. Okay? 2.25 is my unmarked applications. So, what is the next step? Now I need to solve the problem. Gross liability A, B, C. 12 lakh, 12 lakh, 12 lakh. Always deduct firm underwriting first. 1 lakh, 1 lakh. 11 lakh. 11 lakh.
இந்த மாப்பிள்ள இவர மாதிரி அவரையும் சூஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க போல.
11 lakh. Okay? Then what? Then marked application please deduct. Minus marked application. Minus marked application. Marked application as per question 7.25 lakhs. 7,25,000. 8,40,000. 13,10,000. So what is the figure? Minus. How much you are getting? 3,75,000. 2,60,000. 2,10,000 negative. Extra application received here itself. Before allotting unmarked application itself, he is getting extra application for C. So here what happens? Here still they need 3,75,000, still they need 2,60,000. But here he's already got extra application of 2,10,000. What I should do? I should allot this 2,10,000 between A and B. Before unmarked application itself, you have to do it. Before unmarked application itself, 2,10,000 na? Okay, 2,10,000. I'm writing here and I'm allotting between A and B. How I will allot? Ratio between A and B. What is the ratio? 1:1:1. That is the ratio because equal na. So 1:1. 1:1 means 2,10,000 divided by 2. 50-50. So 1,05,000. 1,05,000. Nil. Here it is 1,12,500. Here how much? Sorry, it is not 1,12,500. You can do it as per input for material format or this format. Both are correct answer will give. Both will give correct answer. I am deducting just 2,70,000. Here how much? 0,0,0,5,1. 1,55,000. So 3,75,000 I did it. Then what? Unmarked application. What is the next deduction? Unmarked application. What is the total unmarked application? 2,25,000. Actually, what we should do is we have to allot 2,25,000 divided by 3. Why? Because 2,25,000 divided by 3 only we have to allot. But here we need not to allot like that. Why? Because already this fellow is liability becomes 0. Already this fellow's liability becomes 0. C's liability becomes 0. We need not to allot additional application to him. Even if you allot again, you have to transfer that application to A and B only. Because this fellow's liability already becomes 0. So what I should do? Directly I can allot this 2,25,000 between A and B. 2,25,000 divided by 2 is fine. That means I will get 1,12,500. 1,12,500. Here nil. 1,00,000. What is the thing I am getting here? 1,05,000. So what is the how much I will get? 2,70,000 minus 1,12,500. Tell me. 1,55,000 minus 1,12,500. How much? Subtract and tell me. 4, 2. Then 42,500. Okay. Here how much? 2,70,000 minus 1,12,500. How much? 2,70,000 minus 1,12,500. How much? 1,57,500. Correct. Here nil. So this is my net liability. This is my net liability. This is my net liability plus firm underwriting. This is my net liability plus firm underwriting plus firm underwriting. Firm underwriting is how much? 1,00,000. Minimum guaranteed purchase. 1,00,000. Here also 1,00,000. So total liability is 2,57,500. 1,42,500. Here it is 1 lakh. Okay. One lakh and 42,400. 1 lakh. Fine. This is the total liability. Up to this understood, any doubt is there? Up to this understood? Up to this understood? Up to this step, any doubts? Please ask me. Up to this step, any doubts? Please ask me. Shall we proceed further? Shall we proceed further? Shall I proceed further? This is part of the question only. We have to work out some more points. We have to work out some more points. As per the question, next step is compute amount payable or due to underwriter. How much is receivable from underwriter? How much we have to pay to underwriter? That how can I identify? What is the issue price of the shares? What is the issue price of the shares? Issue price is how much? Issue price is 10 plus 2, 12 rupees is the issue price. Correct? Then what is the commitment of A? 2,57,500 is the commitment of A. 1,42,500 is the commitment of B. 1 lakh is the commitment of C. So 2,57,500 into 12 equal to how much? 30,90,000. I am just writing the institute answer. Here it is 17,10,000 into 12. 1,12,000 into 12 lakh. Correct? 30,90,000 into. So that is what is this 30,90,000 meaning? Total liability of A. He has to purchase this much shares from the company. 17,10,000 means he has to purchase 1,42,500 shares from the B company. B has to purchase 1 lakh shares from C has to purchase from the company. For that he has to pay this much amount: 30,90,000, 17,10,000, 12 lakh. This is payable. Or what is mentioned here? The same word we can use here. Whatever it is, you can mention as a liability towards shares. Liability towards shares you can mention. And the next one is commission. Commission, who will pay to whom? Commission is payable by company to the underwriters. You subscribe, don't subscribe, underwrite, over subscription, under subscription, whatever happens, this thing should be paid. Because it is an agent, for agent's work it is paid. How much is commission amount? 5%. 5% on what? 5% on what? 5% on issue price. What is issue price? 5% on what? 5% is on issue price. Five percentage is on issue price. Issue price okay, but on what I have to pay commission? Issue price into gross liability. Issue price into gross liability. Gross liability means that is what I agreed. A is agreed for 12 lakh. B is agreed for 12 lakh. C is agreed for 12 lakh. On this only 5% should be paid. So 12 lakh into issue price. 12 lakh into issue price. 12 lakh into 12 rupees equal to 12 lakh into 12 rupees. 12 lakh into 12 rupees into 5%. 12 lakh into 12 rupees into 5% equal to 7,20,000. 7,20,000 payable. 7,20,000. Company should pay this amount to the underwriter. So 13,90,000 minus 7,20,000. Company receivable from underwriter is this much. payable to underwriter is this much. Receivable from underwriter is this much, payable to underwriter is this much. So 30,90,000 minus 7,20,000 equal to net. We have to set up. Net we have to receive this much. 23,70,000. Here also net we have to receive this much, 9,90,000. Here also net we have to receive this much, 4,80,000. 4,80,000. Four lakh 80,000. 30,90,000 minus 7,20,000 and 9,20,000. 4,80,000. Okay. So this is what ultimately payable by underwriters to the company. Now next thing is journal entry. Any doubt on this? You can ask me any doubt, please ask me. I will proceed with journal entry. If any doubts I will explain, then we will proceed with the journal entry. I will proceed otherwise. Please tell me any doubts if you have, you can ask me. No doubts. Journal entry. Journal entry. While passing the journal entry, first step is transaction wise we have to pass the journal entry. Transaction means initially we committed, company is committed with underwriter for underwriting. While committing itself, we know that we have to pay the commission. 5% fixed. Whatever you do, over subscription, under subscription, whatever it is, we will pay definitely. So commission payable should be the first entry. Underwriting commission account debit. To whom it is payable? To A, to B, to C. How much is payable? 7.2 lakhs. 7.2 lakhs. 7.2 lakhs. Add all 7.2 lakhs. You will get 21.6 lakhs. Underwriting commission payable. This is for being underwriting commission payable entry. Then what? Then what? Then allotment of shares. Allotment of shares. How much is allotted? How much for what value it is allotted? For A, how much is allotted? For B, how much is allotted? For C, how much is allotted? Here workings I have mentioned. You refer this workings. For A, total value allotted is 13,90,000. For B, 17,10,000 allotted. For C, 12 lakh is allotted. So, simply I will write the allotted figure. 30,90,000, 17,10,000, 12 lakh is allotted. How it is allotted? How much is equity shares? How much is share premium? That's the breakup you have to give. Share capital, share premium. How much shares are allotted? 5 lakh shares are allotted. So 5 lakh into 10, 50 lakh. Balance 10 lakh premium. If you add 50 plus 10, 60. Here also if you add all the items, you will get 60. This is the allotment of shares. Then finally, receipt or payment. Payment or receipt, payment only. Because we know we already did the workings here. Just set up of entries actually. Here credit balance of 7.2, 7.2. Here debit balance of 30.9, 17.10, 12 lakhs ABC. Balance only we have to receive the money from the, after adjusting the above entries, balance is receivable from the underwriters to ABC. Bank account debit 42 lakhs. How 42 lakhs? Add all these figures. Balance receivable from this fellow A. Balance receivable from B. Balance receivable from C. A plus B plus C equal to 42 lakhs. 2. 23 lakh 70,000 and 9 lakh 90,000 and 4 lakh 80,000. Okay. Any doubts? Now you can ask me your doubts. Please ask me if you have any doubts. Any doubts in this class?